breaking the mold. It started like most things do, with a thought, a fleeting, nagging itch in the back of my mind that wouldn't go away. I was tired of being ordinary, tired of blending into the sea of cookie-cutter faces and bodies walking down the street. I wanted to be different. No, I needed to be different. The world was changing, fast. Everywhere you looked, people were talking about identity, self-expression, and acceptance. Body positivity, trans rights, body modification. It was all part of the same tapestry. People carving out their own space, refusing to fit into society's molds. I admired them. Hell, I envied them. And I wanted to prove I could be one of them, even if it meant pushing myself to the edge. Weightlifting became my canvas. At first, it was innocent enough. A couple of dumbbells, a bench press, the usual stuff you see in any generic gym. But that wasn't enough. I didn't want the perfectly sculpted muscles you see on magazine covers. That wasn't different. That was conformity wrapped in protein shakes and gym selfies. No, I wanted something unique, something grotesque, even. A body that would make people stop and stare, not out of admiration, but confusion. Awe. I started modifying the way I worked out. Conventional angles? Boring. Proper form? Overrated. I tilted my bench forward so that my back arched in ways it shouldn't. I pushed the weights at awkward, twisting angles, feeling the strain in muscles that weren't meant to take that kind of abuse. I didn't stop when it hurt. I pushed harder. Pain wasn't a warning sign. It was progress. Are you sure that's safe? My gym buddy, Danny, asked one day as I leaned over, practically bent in half, trying to deadlift at a 45-degree angle. Safe? I laughed, wiping sweat from my forehead. Safe is for people who want to stay the same. I'm not interested in safe. Danny shook his head and muttered something about liability insurance, but I didn't care. I was on a mission, and nothing was going to stop me. The first injury was minor, a pulled muscle in my lower back. It hurt like hell, but I wore it like a badge of honor. Proof that I was pushing boundaries, challenging the limits of what my body could do. I posted about it online, tagging all the usual hashtags. Body positivity. Trans rights are human rights. Redefine strength. The likes and comments poured in. People called me brave, revolutionary. They didn't know the half of it. I doubled down, determined to push further. I strapped weights to my ankles and hung upside down from a pull-up bar, straining my neck and shoulders until I heard something pop. I twisted my wrists at unnatural angles during curls, ignoring the sharp stabbing pain that shot up my forearms. Each session left me more battered, more broken, but I told myself it was worth it. This wasn't just about me anymore. This was about the message. The fractures came next. Tiny ones at first, hairline cracks in my wrists and ankles. My doctor warned me to stop, but I wasn't interested in warnings. Your body isn't designed for this, he said, shaking his head as he reviewed my x-rays. Maybe it's not designed yet, I replied, staring him down. But I'll make it adapt. He didn't get it. None of them did. They couldn't see the bigger picture. This was about freedom. Liberation from the prison of conformity. If I had to break my body to rebuild it in my image, then so be it. But the truth was, I wasn't rebuilding anything. I was tearing it apart, piece by piece. The fractures turned into breaks. My left wrist snapped clean in two during an ill-advised attempt to bench press while lying sideways. My knees gave out a few weeks later, the cartilage shredded beyond repair. I could barely walk, but I refused to stop. I started filming my workouts, broadcasting them live to my growing audience. The comments were a mix of awe and horror. "You're an inspiration," one user wrote. "Proof that we can redefine ourselves on our own terms." But there were others too. People calling me insane, suicidal. I ignored them. They didn't understand. They were trapped in their safe little boxes, too afraid to step outside and see what was possible. Then came my big break. One of America's most popular chat shows had invited me to discuss my work. The lights were blinding, hotter than I expected. My wheelchair was angled perfectly toward the cameras, and the host, a slick-haired man with teeth so white they seemed to glow, leaned in with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "So," he said, voice smooth as honey, "you've endured unimaginable physical challenges to promote body acceptance and redefine what strength means. What drives you to keep going?" I adjusted the microphone clip to my shirt, forcing a smile. "It's simple, really. People need to see—" My face contorted like a pretzel. The pain hit me like a bolt of lightning, sharp and sudden, shooting up from my neck and exploding behind my eyes. I cried out, clutching at the armrest of my chair. The studio fell dead silent, the audience frozen, their collective gasp echoing in my ears. 5 long, unbearable seconds passed. My breath came in short, ragged bursts, and I could feel the sweat trickling down my temple. Then, slowly, I raised my fist, trembling but firm, into the air. The applause erupted like thunder, cheers and whistles drowning out the pounding in my head. I forced a grin, swallowing the pain. "As I was saying," I continued hoarsely, "people need to see that strength comes in all forms." My greatest triumph. Then came the day I couldn't get out of bed, on the very day I was due to be contacted by Hollywood higher-ups. My spine had finally had enough, collapsing under the strain of years of abuse. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, my body a broken shell. The pain was constant, a dull roar that never went away. But worse than the pain was the realization that I was done. There would be no more workouts, no more pushing boundaries. The comments dried up. My followers moved on to the next spectacle. My girlfriend left, unable to watch me destroy myself any longer. The world kept spinning, but I was stuck, a prisoner in my own body. Now, I lie here, day after day, my muscles atrophying, my once bold dreams reduced to memories. Was it worth it? I tell myself it was, that I made a statement, that I proved something. But late at night, when the house is silent and the painkillers wear off, I can't help but wonder if I was just another fool chasing a lie. I wanted to be different. And now, I am. I wanted to break the mold. Well, I definitely broke a lot, but not in the way I'd hoped.